Hey guys, I'm going to be talking to you today about my project, which is building an OpenGL application. My goal is to build a 3D model of like an island, surrounded by water. It's got like the sunset and everything. It's going to be great. But OpenGL is an API, which is an application programming interface. What that means is that you're building a way of talking to your computer's graphics card. And basically, it's just an API is the interface between two different things. Like for a website, it would be the logic between what the user's trying to do and I don't know, the database behind the website. And in this case, the API is an intermediate between your ideas, like what you're trying to draw or render, and your graphics hardware. It's just a way of like translating to the like machine code that your graphics card uses. But the way it does this is you draw you dictate where certain vertices are going to be. Like you have your coordinate system, you have your X and Y, but you also have a Z. That's what makes it three-dimensional. X is left and right, Y is up and down, and your Z coordinate is the 3D where it's forwards or backwards in the screen. It's not really, it's like theoretical, like how far away it is, but that's what makes it appear to be 3D. And so you have these vertices everywhere, and the objects that are drawn are simply lines between these vertices forming either triangles or squares. Everything that's graphically made is made up of a bunch of different triangles or squares, and that's it. So you have these vertices. If you're making triangles, you pick the three that you want. It'll fill in the space between there, and then you'll have a shader that dictates what color it will be. So if you're drawing the sun, they'll have a bunch of you'd probably do it in squares, but you'd have like a giant circle, a 3D circle made of a bunch of squares, and each square has its own shader that's probably different colors, so you have like a 3D lighting effect. So everything that you create is that's just a bunch of vertices and shaders, right? But they're not all rendered all the time. Basically, you have a world of theoretical points and lines, but your graphics card knows when to render them based on where your camera is. There's a lot of math involved. If you have your camera in a certain position, like say up in the sky, and it's got an angle towards your objects, and then based on how far away they are, your graphics card knows how big they should be, and it renders everything in the frame of what your camera can perceive. Everything else gets like cut off. And then when you're moving, you can either move the camera so that the position of what you're perceiving changes so that it renders different things. Like you could, for my island, for example, you could have the camera in the sky rotating around the island so you can see it in different angles. Or what you can do, and this is actually how most games operate, apparently it's got better performance, but you actually have the camera in one spot and you move the entire world around that. So the camera doesn't move, but the world moves around it. It's kind of weird. The thing that's so great about something like OpenGL or Unity or DirectX is you don't have to do everything on your own. There's a lot of tools that are available to you to help you create the scene that you have imagined in your head. There are tools that can help you with lighting or like fog. There's the MIP mapping, which is that's what scales the resolution of things depending on the monitor you're using or the device or how far away things are, or just any atmospheric kind of things. There's a lot of tools available to you to really help you get what you're looking for instead of having to draw every single aspect of it. OpenGL, basically, there's a lot of math with matrices involved and where vertices are and coordinates, and it is fairly challenging, at least in the experience I've had with it so far. It is a lot more challenging than I thought it would be, but it's also a lot of fun. I'd recommend checking out some stuff. I've been using learnopengl.com. It's a really great site with a lot of awesome tools. That's where I got most of these pictures from. But thanks for watching.